seventh term.
Yes.
Seventh.
The 8th Parliament will be his 7th term.
Wow.
He was kicked out between 2004 2008. That was the only time he was not part of Parliament. But he's been part of all. But he's not your regular vociferous legal mind on the floor.
So he works in the background.
A lot of people don't know. Yes, he's a very effective operations grounds person. So you wouldn't really hear him contribute to debates that much. That's why a lot of people don't. But now, unlike in the previous house, where there was only one father of the house, Aban Bagbin, now we have two fathers of the house, Collins Dauda and Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, all going into their 7th.
So Cletus Avoka, even though he's in his 6th Parliament,
5th term, yes.
He missed one term.
Yes, he missed actually 2.
I see. So just by looking at the screen, the people closer to the center are the senior people.
Are the seniors. So you see,
the freshers,
another senior member.
The freshers are sitting in the corners.
They are the backbenchers.
Wow, that's very. So they call them backbenchers.
Yes.
So how does that affect their contribution on the floor, though? So does that mean the speaker doesn't get to see them, or what does it mean to be a backbencher?
Usually, when it comes to debates, there is a list that is presented to the speaker. So the debates go. So once you're able to make it to the list, the speaker's list, he will call you out, irrespective of wherever you are sitting. But when it comes to normal debates, plenary debates, it will be very difficult for a backbencher to catch the eye of the speaker.
Oh, because you have to stand to be seen.
Yes, before you have to stand to record. So if you have a point of information or a point of intervention to make, it will be very difficult. Unless in the parliaments where we've seen, where usually you don't have a lot of MPs coming and there are a lot of empty seats, you see them coming in front, coming to fill up the seats of their seniors who are not around, so that they can catch the eye of the speaker.
But when there's a full house, the backbenchers don't stand a chance.
They usually, if they are not on the list of speakers, it's very difficult for them to catch the eye of the speaker.
Let's talk about the leadership team quickly. So on the MPP side, they are maintaining Chief Mensah-Bonsu, obviously the senior most person on their side.
Yes, on their side,
his
with a lot of
deputy is Alex Afenyo-Markin.
Yes.
I mean, I think this is his 3rd term.
Yes, this is Alexander Afenyo-Markin's 3rd term. And he served on a wide range of committees. He served on the Finance Committee. He served on he's currently on the Public Accounts Committee. And he's, even though this is his 3rd term, the 8th Parliament will be his 3rd term, he's proven to be a master, someone who's actually mastered the rules of procedures. He's always on his feet, making legal arguments, trying to correct his colleagues about procedures, sometimes even his senior colleagues. And it seems to, he brings a lot of his courtroom antics onto the floor of Parliament. That is always almost very evident whenever he's on his feet, making his arguments.
So while he may not be the senior most in the rankings, he's proven
to be a master at the rules, master of the standing orders.
So he will be formidable on that side.
Yes,
on the NDC side, Haruna Idrisu, we know what he is.
Yes,
they are maintaining James Abeji as well. So if you look at Tate and what do you call it, Afenyo-Markin, Haruna and Abeji, what type of chemistry? What should we look? How is that going to pan out?
You look at the front bench of the MPP and the entire front bench, and you see a certain deliberate attempt to introduce some youthfulness and dynamism. So you look at Afenyo-Markin, you look at Anodompre, you look at Lydia Seyam Al-Hassan, and even Habib is also quite young. So it looks like there's some sort of infusion of some youthful dynamism and exuberance into the front bench of the MPP in Parliament this time. As against that of the NDC, it's also quite youthful. Haruna Idrisu is in his 40s. James Abeji, you can't call so young. You would look at Muntaka Mubarak, who's also quite young. Then Ahmed Ibrahim, and then Doyo, who's not so young. So out of the five, you would have 3 young people, 2 not so young people. And then you come to the NPP side.
So the NPP side
people.
Look to be fresher. NDC is
fresher.
They are opting for experience.
Yes,
they obviously see Parliament as a big stage for them, and therefore they are going for experience.
Yes, and if you look at the NDC side as well, in terms of you have just one lawyer. You have just one lawyer. That is Haruna Idrisu. So Haruna Idrisu is a lawyer. most of the times they say the law comes in handy when it comes to the making of legislation and arguments on the floor of the House. But he's the only lawyer on the front bench. James Aveji is an accountant. Muntaka Mubarak is more or less, he used to work in agric marketing, cocoa marketing, before he came to Parliament. But since 2005, since he came in through a by-election, he's actually proven to be someone who really is also one of the people that the minority trust when it comes to procedure and rules, even though sometimes he gets a lot of flack from the majority, the leader of the MPP caucus, Osei Chairman Sabon. But he's really proven to be a master at the rules as well when it comes to standing orders. He's a stickler for punctuality and also for quorum. So if you have nobody raising issues of quorum, he will be the one to raise it. That we don't have quorum, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. And
this is a serious matter.
We've seen Muntaka's work during the public the vettings, where his questioning can be quite rigorous.
Yes, and his questioning does a lot of research before he questions people and can question them for over an hour on a civil particular matter. Yeah, and then you come to Ahmed Ibrahim, who's also he's a teacher and he was a publisher before he came to Parliament. He's the protege, the political godson of Esiedun Ketia. He's the one who replaced him in Parliament when he left.
So he's the deputy.
First deputy majority chief whip, minority whip.
Who is Frank Anodompre, and why do you think the MPP chose him to be the whip?
Anodompre is cast in the mold of Edo Ajaho or Chairman Sambonsu. That is a member of Parliament who comes in and sets his eyes on being a career legislator. So while others are angling, trying to catch the eye of the executive to want to go into executive and the rest, they focus on being in Parliament and doing the work of Parliament very well. So he's one of his monikers, or his nickname in Parliament is the Master of Statements. He's credited as, for the 7th Parliament, he made the most statements on the floor of the House in terms of bringing topical issues of socio-economic relevance. He's always filing statements and making statements on the floor of Parliament. Of course, his work as chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee was very much celebrated. He is a student of the law, but he's not a lawyer. As in, he has a law degree, but he's not a lawyer. Wow. Yes, which I think would come in handy in this Parliament as he serves on the front bench, because he's replacing another seasoned lawyer, the Honourable Kwesiame Alcheme, the MP for Sunyani East, who has been removed, who will not be on the front bench and has been replaced by Anodompre. So he's quite young. Former NUX president.
Is Ahmed Ibrahim on the NDC side?
No, his opposite number is Muntaka. Very formidable.
Muntaka.
Yes, Muntaka. His opposite number is Muntaka. Wow. Very formidable person, and he's had this. We've gone through the ranks. NUX president from UCC. He just graduated with a master's degree from the Institute of Local Government Studies. Graduated top of his class, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yes, despite being a member of Parliament.
So his MPP is injecting fresh blood. Who is his deputy on the MPP side in terms of the whip system?
The deputy is Lydia Asaya Malhassan, MP for Ayawaso West Wogon. Barely 3 years old. He came in after the husband lost his life. That infamous Ayawaso West Wogon by election. That's how he came into the House as a member of Parliament. He's proven to do his work quietly. He made a couple of statements on the floor of the House. He's a health pharmaceutical entrepreneur and actually does a lot of marketing, and his degrees from Gimpa in entrepreneurship, and he's actually been working. Looks like someone who actually does a lot of canvassing and work, especially with the women's caucus.
So let me just understand something. The whips, what is their job and what competence do they need?
You need to be a people person. First of all, you need to be a people's person because you would be working essentially galvanizing the base of the MPs. You also take care of their welfare issues. That is also one of the things you do. You also ensure that they don't go out of the party line. You ensure a strict adherence to the 3-line whip system. That's essentially what they do. So they are the organizers, for want of a better word, the organizers of the various caucuses, in the House, and they have 2 deputies.
Wow. It's 5 minutes to midnight. I noticed there's hush in the chamber now. What is happening?
One who would be chairing the proceedings, the clerk at table, Cyril Insia, would walk in with his officers from the table office. They would walk in and take their seats, and then he would call the House to order and take charge of the proceedings for the election of the speakers to begin. Then the speaker will swear in the MPs elect, and then we would have the election of the first and deputy speakers, and the House will stand adjourned till tomorrow morning when they will meet at the Dome to swear in the president.
Would you be allowed to remain there whilst it's going on so I can keep talking to you, or they will kick you out?
I have to. I can be here.
Okay. I like your vantageous position, so I would do a substitution here, but you remain there. So maybe Sander will come and take over from me, and he'll stay with Sky, and then you still be there, because I think we need you to explain what we are seeing. Are they wearing the mask, or they are? Because the room is air conditioned, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's not like where we are, which is an open space.
Yeah, that's right. That's the difficulty.
So they are all in an enclosed space
environment. Yeah, so it's air circulating, they're inhaling. That's a COVID nest.
Okay, Umar Sandamadu, come and join us, because you are going to take over from me. This is no longer, I don't know if this is point of view or what, we are still in Parliament.
No, effectively point of view.
Point of view is dead.
It's expired with the...
Yes. We will do a short break. When we come back, Umar Sandamadu will take over. The countdown is starting. It's 3 minutes, 50 seconds. We'll take a 3-minute break. When we come back, Sandra is going to take you into the ending of the 7th Parliament and the start of the new Parliament. It's going to be very exciting. My name is Benadable. Sky is still here as the guest. Paul is also here. Umaru Sanda is the host. When I come back, stay with us.